Yes, hello again. Welcome back to Classic Dirt Bike TV. Now, as you know, we are here at Craigantlet in Northern Ireland for the 2024 charity two-day Scramble event that's held here at Cecil Pearson's racetrack in Ballysallagh Road. Now, we've already had two walks around the paddock and taken a look at some of those quite nice looking bikes that are soon to take part in this event, but right now it's time for our first race package of the 2 days, and this is the Friday evening's racing. So without any further delay, let's head straight down to the start line and let's get on with race one. Okay, so in this first part one video of the racing highlights from this year's 2024 Charity Scramble in Northern Ireland. These are the races from the Friday evening's race programme. We hope to cover the first block of races in this video, which will be approximately 7 races, and this is race 1, the pre-65s, pre-70s and the pre-1974s, and these are basically the vintage bikes of this event. And as you can see at this point in the proceedings, the weather was absolutely superb, although it was extremely wet on the Thursday, so the track is still a bit slippy. But as the bikes leave the line, it looks like a good start there by number 111, that's Harry Stitt, being followed by John Griffiths, number 33, and it looks like Chris Lappin has also made a good start there in third, with his dad Adrian there currently in fourth. But as they come up the hill to begin lap 1, it's still number 111, Harry Stitt, who leads the pack as they head up Pearson Hill. It's still John Griffiths in second, with Chris Lappin in third. So as the riders make their way down from the top of the hill, it's still number 111, Harry Stitt, who leads John Griffiths there, number 33, and it's still Chris Lappin in third position. As we take a look at number 44 there in the red jersey, that's Adrian Lappin, riding, of course, one of Cecil Pearson's superb Jap machines. But here's your race leader, Harry Stitt, and this is a bike that, of course, Harry designed the frame in himself and put the Jap engine in the chassis. Just taking a look at some of the riders. Number 44 again is Adrian Lappin. There's quite a few of the riders in this event for the Friday evening not listed in the race programme, so it might be a bit difficult to pick out the names of certain riders, but we'll certainly do our best. But there's no question about the race leader. It's still number 111, Harry Stitt, who appears to be opening a bit of a gap to number 33, John Griffiths, in second place. So young Harry Stitt certainly off to a brilliant start on this super quick Stitt Jap machine. There's John Griffiths there, number 33, in second position, also riding one of Cecil Pearson's Japs, and it's number 24, Chris Lappin, on that CZ machine. This is one of the bikes that we had a look at during our paddock walkabout. Number 339 there, I think that's Stuart McClurg, and that's also another bike that we had a look at in our paddock walkabout. You may remember that Myco that we had a look at, and this is Stuart putting it to good use here on the track. Just coming towards us there is number 68, that's Peter Gilliland. That's another one of the bikes that we featured in our paddock videos. That's Peter's lovely Royal Enfield. You may remember that we had a brief look at this bike. So back at the front of the pack, it's still number 111, Harry Stitt. As I said, that's a frame on that bike that Harry designed and built himself. So as you can gather, Harry has plenty engineering skills, and as you can see, pretty quick on a bike as well. So he appears to have everything that he needs, and all he really needs now is a pair of scissors to give himself a decent haircut. So here's your second placed rider, number 33, John Griffiths, riding again one of Cecil Pearson's Rickman Jap powered machines. So John Griffiths going very well there on that big 4-stroke Jap bike. It's still Chris Lappin in third position as they head back down the hill. Stuart McClurg is in fourth, so Harry Stitt again heading up the hill, and Harry already on his last and final lap of this race, because we have 4 laps of the track for each class. So it's still Harry Stitt in first position. John Griffiths is currently in second, being chased now by Chris Lappin on the 2-stroke CZ bike. So looks like Chris Lappin's going to have a go at John Griffiths before the checkered flag, but John Griffiths currently managing to keep Chris at arm's length. So we're just waiting on our race leader coming up the hill to take the checkered flag. That of course isn't the race leader, that's number 68, Peter Gilliland. Now there's your race leader just taking the checkered flag. So a very good start to the day for number 111, Harry Stitt. John Griffiths has crossed the line in second, and it's Chris Lappin currently in third. Now there's the track owner and the owner of all of those Jap scramblers. That's the man himself, Cecil Pearson, still riding these bikes even at 80 years old. And number 6 there, I think that's Paul Harvey, who's borrowed one of the Jap bikes from Cecil Pearson. It looks like Paul's had some kind of mechanical issue, which takes us on to race 2. These are the first of the Twinshock classes, and this is the Twinshock Grade C class. Quite a good turnout of bikes for this class. So as they make their way up the hill, it looks like John Campbell's made quite a good start there, number 21, and that is another bike, of course, that we had a look at in our paddock walkabout. John's riding that quite rare 1977 Alan Clues CCM. So as the riders make their way up the hill for the first time, it looks like it's still John Campbell, number 21, who leads at number 24. That's Matt Miller, and Matt Miller's also riding one of those big CCMs. So it's a battle of the big CCM 4-strokers at the front of this pack. So we're looking at the riders descending from the top of the hill. I think it's still number 21 there, John Campbell, who's being chased by number 24, Matt Miller. So this is a good scrap here developing at the front between the two Clues machines. John Campbell's number 21 bike there is a 1977 bike, but I'm not sure what year Matt Miller's machine is, but those two having quite a good scrap at the front. So there's your race leader, number 21, John Campbell, who, as far as I remember, did very well at this event at last year's charity Scramble. So he's off to a good start here with that man there, number 24, Matt Miller, in second position. Just going through there is number 208, that's John Kuzik. And just coming into short now is number 56, that's Alan Kernahan. So as our race leader comes up the hill to finish lap 1, it's still John Campbell, number 21, on the 1977 CCM, who still leads Matt Miller there, number 24, in second position. But Matt's still in a decent position to make a challenge before the end of this race, so who knows. He's certainly lining up a pass coming down the hill here, so Matt Miller certainly looks like he's on a charge with that big CCM. Number 208 just coming towards us on the Suzuki, that's John Cusack. Number 28 is Lewis Paul on one of those nice Husqvarnas that we also had a look during our paddock walkabout. We take a look at number 8. Whoops! That was number 818 there. That was Robin Davidson sliding about on his YZ Yamaha. But here's the battle at the front. It's still number 21, John Campbell, who leads number 24, Matt Miller. But Matt's having another go coming down the hill. It appears that Matt can get up to the back wheel of John's bike, but as yet has been unable to make the pass. But he's still sitting in quite a comfortable position there with a couple of laps to go before the end of this race. So it's quite a good scrap here at the front between these two CCM riders. As we take a look at some of the other riders chasing that front pairing of John Campbell and Matt Miller. That was Lewis Paul going through a minute ago there on the Husqvarna. Number 56 is Alan Kernahan. And number 145 just coming through there on the 1980 Michael is number 145. That's Paul Donaghy. And Paul's chasing number 365. That's Billy Byers. So as we head back to our race leaders as they come down for the last and final lap of this race, it's still number 21 John Campbell who leads number 24 Matt Miller. Both of these riders, of course, riding these big 4-stroke CCM bikes, but currently it's John Campbell's 1977 machine who leads Matt Miller. But Matt, this has been a good ride here by second place man Matt. He's been unable to get past John Campbell, but this has also been a good ride by John, and it looks like he's heading for his first race win of the day. Number 28 just going past there with number 208 John Cusack just behind. Let's try and pick up some of the other riders as they start their last and final lap. Number 145 is again that's Paul Donaghy on the 1980 250 Michael. So it's a win for John Campbell with Matt Miller in second position. Which brings us on to race 3. This is the Twinshock Grade B class. As I said, we have 3 classes for the Twinshocks. We'll have Grade A immediately after this race, but another good lineup of Twinshock bikes for this Grade B class as they leave the line, because it's quite wet at the bottom part of the track there with all the rain that we had on the Thursday. So let's see if we can pick up our race leaders as they come up the hill to begin lap 1. Okay, so as they head up the hill, it looks like it's number 61. I think that's Richard Murdoch on the 490 Michael, who is currently the race leader. And it looked like it was number 205 in second position. I think that's Alex Johnston, but as our race leader descends from the top of the hill, Richard Murdoch certainly made a good start here in this first Twinshock B race of the evening. Of course, all of these classes in the Friday evening's race event will get 2 races. And my apologies if we do eventually get some of the riders' names incorrect, because not all of these riders are listed in the race programme. So again, if we do happen to name the riders improperly, then I do apologise for that misdemeanour. But it looks like we've got a rider down there at the top of the step. I think that was number 111 who dropped his bike. I think that's Ian McMahon with his big 4-stroke Yamaha. But here's your race leader as he crosses the line to complete another lap. It's number 61, Richard Murdoch, who currently leads at number 205, Alex Johnston. So that front pairing have made quite a good start in this Twinshock Grade B class race. Number 275 is Eddie Long, and that's another one of the Yamaha bikes that we had a look at in our paddock videos. So here at the front, it's still number 61, Richard Murdoch on the 1981 490 Michael. Richard looking very comfortable at this stage in the race, and the track conditions are almost perfect for this Friday evening's race event. As I said, we did have some monsoon rains on the Thursday, which absolutely soaked this track, but it appears to have recovered sufficiently and is in quite good condition for our Friday evening race event. As we take a look at number 12 going through there, I think that was one of the lapping boys. I think that was Stuart lapping going through on the Husqvarna. So there's your race leader, Richard Murdoch, completing yet another racing lap, and it's still number 205, Alex Johnston, who has just now been passed. So Alex is down to third position. Here's your second placed rider now, number 461, who I think is possibly John Reid on the YZ Yamaha, but again, apologies if that is not the correct name for the second placed rider. In third place, just going through there, was number 199, who is unfortunately another one of the riders not listed in the race programme. Number 12 is Stuart Lappin on the Husqvarna, and number 3, I think, is Eddie Murray. So we're just heading back to pick up our race leader as he crosses the line to begin his last and final lap. So this has been a good ride here by number 61, Richard Murdoch, and it looks like it could be John Reid, who is currently in second position. We're taking a look at number 84 there. That's Matt Halpin. So it certainly looks like Richard Murdoch is cruising to the finish line. So barring any off-track excursions or mechanical issues, Richard should have this race in the bag. But then again, it's a Michael that Richard's riding, so it is of course 101% reliable. Now, there's your second place man, number 461. That's still John Reid on the YZ Yamaha. So it looks like Richard Murdoch is going to chalk up his first race win of the evening. So this has been a good ride for the man on the 490 Michael, and just coming across the line in second position is number 461. That's John Reid. So that quite conveniently brings us on to race 4, and these are the Twinshock Grade A class riders, and some quick riders in this class. These are the fast boys of the Northern Ireland Twinshock racers, and look out for number 22, Tommy Merton, who's racing in this class. And you can see how wet that part of the start gate is at the bottom end of the track due to all the rain that we had on Thursday. But as they go into turn 1, it looks like it's Tommy Merton who's your race leader. I think that's Stuart McClurg there in second position as they all head up the hill for the very first time. So as they begin lap 1, it is indeed number 22, Tommy Merton, who leads number 339, that's Stuart McClurg on that James Brown 490 Michael. So as our race leader descends from the top of the hill, it's still number 22, Tommy Merton, who leads number 339, Stuart McClurg, in second position. Number 12 there, I think that could be Stuart Lappin on that big four-stroke Rotax machine. But it's still number 22, Tommy Merton, who's riding what I think is an Andy Elliott water-cooled two-stroke Husqvarna. I'm pretty sure that this bike is sponsored for Tommy to ride by Andy Elliott at HVA Factory. Second place there is Stuart McClurg. Third is still number 12, Stuart Lappin. And actually I'm pretty sure that Andy Elliott is also racing in this particular Grade A class race. I think that's Andy just making his way down the hill there on the white Husqvarna. So as the riders make their way up the hill for the second time, it's still number 22, Tommy Merton, who leads number 339, Stuart McClurg, on that James Brown at 490 Michael. But this water-cooled two-stroke Husqvarna of Tommy Merton's is a very quick machine, as you can see. Stuart McClurg is still currently in second place, but it looks like he's just going to be passed here by number 12. I think that's Stuart Lappin on the big Husqvarna Rotax machine. A big four-stroke thumper, but it looks like Stuart Lappin is now your second placed rider as we take a look at number 339, Stuart McClurg on that black 1981 490 Michael. So we're back with our race leader again, number 22, Tommy Merton, on the HVA Factory water cool bike. Number 16 I think is currently in about fourth or third position. I think that's Stephen Beattie making his way up the hill, but Tommy Merton well on his way for possibly his first win of the evening. Second place man is still number 12, Stephen Lappin on the four-stroke Husqvarna Rotax. And as I said, these are the first block of racing from the Friday evening's race programme, and we will post the remaining 7 races from this evening's event when we post part 2. So as our race leader makes his way up the hill for the very last time, it's still number 22, Tommy Merton, who's basically led this race from the start gate. So this has been quite a dominant performance from this very talented rider on this super quick Husqvarna race bike. Now this bike of Tommy's is not of course your run-of-the-mill air-cooled 500 Husky. This is one of the later liquid-cooled Husqvarnas. I think, I'm not sure of the CCs of the bike, but it's at least 500 as far as I can make out. But looks like Tommy's on his way to his first win of this Friday evening. So as he makes his way up towards the checkered flag, it's win number 1 for number 22, Tommy Merton, and we're just waiting on our second placed rider crossing the line, which looks like it could be Stuart Lappin, number 12 there on that Husqvarna Rotax. So as you can see, quite a decent crowd turned out to watch this Friday evening's race programme, which takes us on to race 5, which is the first of the youth races, and this is the big wheel 85, the 125s and 250s. So these are basically the youngsters of the Northern Ireland Classic Racing Club. So these guys are quite talented, as you can see. Now it is quite difficult to name these youth riders because there's quite a lot of these guys who are not listed in any of the race programme or other paperwork that have been supplied. So It's quite difficult to actually name the riders, but obviously it's number 125 that's your race leader, with number 78 in second position. But it looks pretty obvious that our leader, number 125, is riding what looks like a big 4-stroke 250 KTM machine, number 78 in second position. Some quite quick riders in this combined youth class. But as you can imagine, quite a lot of work goes into putting this charity event together each year, and generally all of the track preparations start the week before the event, and without the support of all of the hard-working Northern Ireland committee members and some of the local businesses in the area who supply services and things like cash donations, then the Northern Ireland Classic Scramble Club certainly wouldn't be able to run this event each and every year. So there's your race leader, number 125, and again apologies for not being able to name the rider, although his name is written on the back of his shirt, but unfortunately we can't make that particular name out due to the speed that rider's going round the track, but he's doing very well on this 250 4-stroke KTM. There's your second place rider, number 78, who I'm guessing is Mr. Jai McKenzie, if that helps you out. Number 10 going through there was Alfie Heron. And just coming up the hill to start another lap was number 10. That was Alfie Heron, just making his way through once again. You may remember Alfie from a couple of years back when he beat the big 125 and 250 4-strokes while he was at that time riding a little 65cc Husqvarna. But here's your race leader. It's still number 125 on the 250 4-stroke KTM. Looks like he's quite comfortable here at the front. There doesn't seem to be anybody close enough to make a challenge at this point, but he's going very well on this Austrian-made 4-stroker. Second place is still number 78, which is waiting on our third place rider, which is number 10 there, Alfie Heron. But as I said, I don't know of any information on these youth riders, so I'm really just making a guess at some of their names from what I already know. But there's your race leader heading down from the top of the hill. It's still number 125. It should be number 78 in second position. It looks like he's riding a little 85cc or maybe even a 125 Yamaha. But I do have a race programme to look back on with names and numbers, but none of them seem to coincide with these riders on the track, because the Northern Ireland Club do print their programmes annually, so I do apologise for not being able to name the riders in this particular class. So it's a win for number 125. Second is going to be number 78 on the little Yamaha. As we take a look at number 417, fortunately again is not listed on any of the information I have to hand. So that just about more or less completes our first youth race of the day. We take a look at number 3 there. I think that's Eddie Murray recovering his old Suzuki from a previous race. So that brings us on to race 6, which is the pre-1977 class. As you can see, not as many bikes in this class, but it is quite hard to get pre-1977 bikes to race in these kind of classic and vintage clubs, but we still have enough riders to make a race of it, hopefully. So as they head up the hill into turn 1, it looks like it's a good start there by number 24. That's Chris Lappin. He's been chased by number 33, John Griffiths, and it looks like it's number 111, Harry Stitt, who's currently in third position. So as the riders make their way up the hill, it looks like John Griffiths has passed Chris Lappin, so it's now number 33, John Griffiths, on the Joe Maxwell reproduction CCM bike. Second is Chris Lappin. Third place there is Harry Stitt, and Harry this time is riding a CCM framed bike that Harry actually built himself, and sitting inside that frame he has a Triumph twin motor, which Harry tells me has a 500cc bottom end and a 750cc top end. So another beautiful hybrid machine built there by the very talented Harry Stitt. So as you can see, Harry Stitt going very well there on that CCM Triumph combination. So as the race leaders come across the line to start another racing lap, it's still John Griffiths, number 33, who leads Chris Lappin, number 24, on the two-stroke CZ. Now this bike here of John Griffiths is of course not an original CCM bike, but this is a reproduction copy built by Joe Maxwell Engineering in Dumfries in Scotland, because Joe Maxwell makes reproduction copies of the 1974 CCM machines. Harry Stitt there, still currently in third position. And as I said earlier, not only is this young man a very talented and skillful engineer, he's also pretty handy on one of these vintage bikes. So here's our racers coming up the hill to complete another lap, and it's still number 33, John Griffiths, on the Joe Maxwell CCM, who leads at number 24. That's Chris Lappin. And just crossing the line there, number 777 is another rider that's not listed in the race programme, but he's riding an old BSA there by the looks of it. But it's still John Griffiths, your race leader, from this man here, number 24, Chris Lappin. And as you can see, the track still in fantastic condition, considering the amount of rain that we had on this track on Thursday, and things were looking very bleak as to even if this event would actually go ahead on the Friday. But the track has recovered sufficiently, as you can see. So there's your race leader coming up the hill to start his last and final lap of this race. So this has been a good ride here thus far by number 33, John Griffiths, and it's still Chris Lappin, number 24, in second place, and Harry Stitt currently in third. So John Griffiths at this point looking very comfortable for a win in this pre-1977 race, and of course you can see John also racing one of Cecil Pearson's Japs in one of the pre-65 or pre-68 races, which will be coming up in part 2, but currently it's still Chris Lappin, number 24, in second place, from Harry Stitt in third. So as he heads towards the checkered flag, been a very good ride here by number 33, John Griffiths. So he's going to come up the hill to take the win in this pre-77 race from number 24, Chris Lappin, who is going to finish in second, just ahead of this man here, number 111, Harry Stitt. So that brings us to the end of the first block of races for the Friday evening, and this is race 7, and this is the 65s and the small wheel 85s. And as I say, we don't normally feature these little modern bikes on CDB TV, but this is a charity event, so all of these riders have probably donated valuable cash to the charities to race, so it's only right that these young men get their time here on my channel. And unfortunately, once again, I don't have a list of riders' names and numbers for this youth class, so unfortunately I won't be able to name any particular rider, but as you can see, it's number 5 who's currently in the lead as they go into the turn. Whoops, it looks like that number 5 rider's dropped his bike momentarily. Quite a big bike there for that little man's short legs. It looks like somebody's coming along there to give him a little hand out, so looks like he'll be good to go. But here's your race leader, number 17, who appears to be riding a little CR85 Honda. And of course, if you want to see the second block of races from this Friday evening's race programme, then just look for part 2 of this event, which I'll be posting very soon, and you can see the other 7 remaining races from the Friday evening. So there's your race leader crossing the line to begin lap 2. It's number 17 on the little 85cc Honda 2-stroke bike. Going very well for such a young rider, but there are a few of these youngsters super talented on these little bikes. And just coming through there in second position, it looks like that could be number 416. And that might even be Alfie Thompson, but as I said, don't quote me on that particular statement. There's number 5 again. Looks like he's got up and running. I don't know his first name, but he's certainly got right written on the back of that race shirt. And it looks like he's beginning to make his way through the pack again after that little spill, because he did make quite a good start from the start gate, so who knows, he may be up into the top 3 before the end of this race. But there's your race leader heading up the hill, number 17, being followed by possibly number 416, which I think could be Alfie Thompson. As we take a look at number 717, just making his way through there, but there's your race leader coming down from the hill to start his next lap, number 17 again. Unfortunately, I'm not able to name that particular rider, which is a bit of a shame because he is running very well there in first position. And it looks like our number 5 rider, Mr. Wright there on what looks like a KTM. It looks like he's moving through the pack after his little spill, so currently up to third position there, and just ahead of number 416, Alfie Thompson. As we take a look at, I think that's number 187 on the little KTM. Number 1 behind is also on a KTM. Now that number 97 bike, I think that could be Eddie Murray's young lad, and I'm sure Eddie told me that this was his very first time out in a race event on his KTM. So if that's Eddie's young lad there, he appears to be doing very well for his first time out in one of these youth races. So here's your race leader as he heads down from the hill and on his way to his first win of the day. It's going to be number 17 on the little 85cc 2-stroke Honda. Again, Mr. Wright there, number 5. I think he's currently in second position now. So he's recovered very well from that earlier spill that he took into the corner. So as he makes his way up and across the checkered flag, it's going to be a win for number 17. And it looks like, I think it could be number 5 who's going to come up the hill in second position. So that concludes part 1 of our charity scramble in Northern Ireland 2024. But coming up next, of course, we will have the remaining 7 races from the Friday evening's race programme. But thanks again for watching Classic Dirt Bike TV. So until the next time, it's goodbye for now.